Good morning, good evening, wherever you may be watching this video. Today, we're going to be doing an XDFi tutorial and walkthrough. For those of you that don't know, XDFi is a decentralized futures trading platform recently launched on the Flare network. In today's video, we're going to be going over what XDFi is, how does it work, and what potential it may have. Some things that we can potentially look forward to being added to the platform in the future. With that being said, let's get into the content of today's video. All right, so this is what XDeFi looks like when you land on the app page. The URL is app.flare.xdefi.io. Don't worry, I will indeed include the link in the description of the video so you don't have to hunt for it. But before we get into the walkthrough and tutorial of the XDeFi platform, let's talk about what XDeFi is. So I'm really excited to see products like this come live on the Flare network. It really adds credence and more credibility to what Flare is trying to achieve with their native data protocols. So seeing products like XDeFi, utilizing them and really bringing robust use cases to the Flare network is always a good thing. I'm always be excited about that. But XDeFi is a institutional grade decentralized futures trading platform. And there's a lot within that, right? And when you say you're institutional, institutions, they have laws, regulations, rules that need to be adhered to in order to operate legally, right? So how do you essentially bring institutional money on chain, and how do you make sure you're adhering to all those things that they care about while still maintaining decentralization? Well, Centric Solutions, Santiago Velez, that team behind XDeFi, they came up with a solution called the SKYCT token, which basically solves the KYC problem that we have when it comes to inviting institutional money in and allowing them to operate legally on decentralized platforms. This way we ensure that KYC has indeed been performed, and there are pertinent information that has been verified, and these institutions can ease their anxiety of operating on a decentralized platform, while still having a means of knowing who their customers are. So that's essentially a good thing. And the way that XDeFi works, for every position, there is also a counter position that needs to be taken in order to facilitate and execute the trade. So what do I mean by that? When you take a long position on the platform or a short position, you are matched with an institutional partner behind the scenes that takes the counter side of that trade. So if you're taking a long, they'll take a short. If you take the short, they'll take the long of that same trade. And that is how you ensure liquidity is always available for, executing trades and things of that nature. So in order to do that, knowing that the institutions are matching, or being matched with customers on trades when trades are executed, the institutional partners have to know that, they're operating with legitimate people who aren't breaking any laws, aren't on any sanctions lists, things of that nature. So when you complete the KYC process, you can't even use XDeFi until that process is done. So once that KYC process has been completed, once your SKYC token has been minted on your wallet's been verified, your information has been verified, you can conduct or execute trades on the XDeFi platform. So that is how XDeFi is able to bring institutional grade futures trading to the Flare network on chain, execute all this on chain. So let's get into the actual tutorial, the walkthrough of the platform. So when you land on this page, it looks like a lot's going on, but when you break these things down into small pieces, it's really not a whole lot going on. And in fact, just about everything on this page is important. So starting here under the XDeFi label, you have this drop down here for your contract selection, asset selection. Currently, the platform supports BTC, ETH, XRP, Doge, and Trump futures contracts. Each asset has two contracts available outside of Doge, I believe. And then those contract offerings are one for today's date and then one for tomorrow's date. And again, that's for every asset except for Doge. So just keep that in mind. And when you click on these contracts, so say I want to trade BTC, but I want to trade tomorrow's contract, not today's. When I click this, the interface changes. It gives me some more information. Same chart, just the information changed up here. If I were to swap over to ETH and select today's contract for ETH, it changes the chart over to the Ethereum chart, changes the pricing information, volume information, things of that nature. So just pay attention to that. Over in this pane, you have a smart contract that manages all of the open positions on the XDFi platform. It shows you the contract price, so 2,000 Flare per contract, which is about $43 currently. And then you have your tick ratio. So for every $10, that $10 equals 50 Flare, and then the 24-hour volume. Something to pay attention to right here is this cutoff countdown date. So this will change depending on the contract in which you choose. If you're trading today's date or today's date contracts across, different assets, you will have a different countdown date being, we only have 14 hours and 31 minutes left in the day before those contracts expire. But if you were to switch to tomorrow's contract or a future dated contract, that cutoff countdown date will update. So obviously tomorrow's contracts don't expire for another day, 14 hours, 31 minutes. So definitely something you want to pay attention to when doing your analysis and selecting what contracts you want to trade on the platform. You do have a drop-down menu up here towards the top of the page where you can select what assets you would like to use for collateral in your trade execution. So you can use Flare or S-Flare. There's, in my opinion, some benefit to using S-Flare over Flare. At least when you utilize S-Flare, you're still earning your staking rewards and your Flare drops while still using that S-Flare as collateral to execute trades. Whereas if you were to just use regular Flare, you're not really earning anything. So it's kind of pointless in my opinion, but you have options nonetheless. And then you have some other information here towards the right side of the screen. If you click where your wallet connection was, you'll be able to see your XDFi balance. You'll be able to see these different cells here that navigate you to this page. And this is just more additional information where you can see your positions. You can see the different tokens that you currently house, some other notifications under general. And then you have under transaction, you have settlements, you have orders, and you have funds, and then of course your support tickets there. So definitely some information you want to be able to navigate to, just so you know where to find those things. But getting back to the main page, you have another contract selection drop-down menu here towards the right of the screen. So you have it in two places, whichever makes you feel comfortable, I guess. And then, of course, you have limit and market orders. So if you select limit, you'll have to enter the price for the asset in which you would like it to execute. And then, of course, the quantity of contracts you want to buy. And then you either click long or short. Long for if you expect the price to be above the execution point, or if you do short, you expect the price to be lower than the execution point. Just, making sure you understand that. Now, I didn't really get into this trading view widget here, but you do have a trading view widget. And then, of course, you can see the FTSO chart and its pricing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong. But I do recall Santiago discussing the fact that trades are executed based on the FTSO price and not the trading view price. So keep that in mind. Also, if you haven't watched the latest Flare Factor hosted by Scepter on YouTube, be sure to watch that episode. That episode was about XDFi. Santiago Velez, the co-founder, he gave a tutorial walkthrough, gave some good information on the XDFi platform, things of that nature. So definitely be sure you go check out that video. But yeah, I mean, that's really the platform. It's not a whole lot to the platform. It's very simple. It's very easy to use. It can look intimidating at first, especially if you're not used to a trading platform. But once you break it down into those small chunks, like I said, it's all very important information. Definitely not, shouldn't be intimidating, at least because you need to know that information to one degree or another. But yeah, I see a lot of potential on for the XDeFi platform. I'm looking forward to seeing more assets come live on the platform, being able to trade. Commodities would be nice, something like gold, silver, oil, even wheat, who knows. But obviously, because the platform utilizes the FTSO pricing. Once the FTSO gets upgraded, then I'm sure that makes things hell of a lot easier for the XDeFi platform to integrate those price feeds and offer futures products for those assets. So again, I'm always excited to see robust, programs or robust applications being brought to the Flare network, built on the Flare network using Flare's native data protocols. This is only going to continue. It's only going to continue as the spotlight shines on the Flare network, the overall Flare ecosystem, and what it has to offer. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of the XDeFi platform. Were you one of the first 300 people to sign up and get the free contract? Have you executed a trade on XDeFi? What is some of the potential you see for the platform? What are some things that you would like to see added to the platform in the near future? But yeah, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.